Welcome everyone. We're about a month out from elk season. I hope everyone is pumped as I am. I can't wait. There's many videos out there with different gear reviews. I wanted to share with you my top 10 items under 20 bucks that I think will greatly enhance your elk hunt. Many of these items you're probably familiar with. There may be one or two that you haven't thought of, and hopefully I'll share those with you today. So my top 10 items, again, under 20 bucks for a western hunt. It doesn't necessarily have to be elk hunting. So we'll start off with a spare release. This is very important. So when I was putting together this list, I put things into one of three buckets. Something that, can A, make you more comfortable, B, can save you should something untoward happen, or C, can save your hunt. So, and the spare release falls in that last category. I get, for the guys that shoot back tension releases, you're not going to get a spare back tension release for under 20 bucks, but definitely carry a spare release with you. If you lose your release, I've seen this happen twice now in my 8 years of elk hunting. It's good to have a backup. So not very expensive and not very heavy to throw into your gear, so something to include. Next item up, this will be pretty obvious to most people, but you want to have a backup. This is a headlamp. I like these cheap little Ozark Trail headlamps from Walmart. They have three modes on them. They have a red mode, which I like for going in the morning, so I'm not spooking elk. They have a bright and then a very wide bright. And then I carry a little other backup headlamp. I'll link it in the description from Amazon. It's really small and it's very nice to have. You just want to have a backup headlamp because it can get cracked, it can get left on in your pack, and then without the headlamp you can be in real trouble if you're out there in the dark. So that's item number 8. Item number 7 is sort of two items, and I laughed as I say it because it's quite relevant. If you can see behind me, I just got done finishing up my Euro mount from a bull I killed 3 years ago, and sure enough I cut my finger in the process of doing that. And this is important. These are these gloves. I get these from Amazon or wherever. They're real cheap, and again I'll link them in the description, but these are cut-proof gloves. You can take, if you got a Havalon or another razor knife or something and you're cutting yourself while gutting an elk or doing a gutless method, you can really end your hunt quick if you stab through this. So these will help you prevent cutting your hands open and potentially saving your hunt. So again, I just cut my finger real bad finishing up that Euro behind me the other day, so I'm quite sensitive. And these are real cheap items, and they're great to have because I tell you, if you've gutted enough elk, sooner or later you're going to cut yourself or just doing something else. In addition, if it's cold, it gets cold when the sun goes down and you're gutting an elk, these do add a little bit of warmth. With those two are these nitrile gloves. Everyone's seen these. You can pick these up relatively cheap. I keep plenty of these around. They're pennies on the dollar. They weigh next to nothing, so they're easy to keep in my pack. Okay, item number 6. Most people probably have this, but some type of wind checker. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Elk are going to smell you no matter what you do if you're not playing the wind. So you have to play the wind. Wind checker. I actually like milkweed. I don't have my milkweed out here. I picked up some here in Maryland last year, so I like milkweed even better because you can watch the thermals. Sometimes milkweed will show you the thermals are going down. So I like it better than like a talcum powder or something like that. But either way, a wind checker, imperative to have. This one also is an obvious item, and these are your elk diaphragm calls. They can save a hunt, because I tell you, if I didn't go on a hunt and I left these at home, that would be bad news. So you can pop in a call, stop a bull. Everybody knows what they sound like. You can interest the bull for your shot. Don't leave those home, obviously. All right. This next one, actually, I'll grab another. The next one is something I like. A lot of people will say, hey, Leuco tape to prevent hot spots on your boots. I like Leuco tape, but many of the items in my top 5 list have multivariate uses. I actually prefer athletic tape, and it's a little bit cheaper than Leuco tape. I pre-tape my feet before I go out because I've learned where my hot spots are, so I don't wait till I develop a hot spot. I prophylactically tape my feet. The nice part about this, though, it is something that can double as multiple things. So you have tape. If something breaks, God forbid, you do have a little bit of tape to keep things together. You can tape off game bags if need be. So again, athletic tape weighs next to nothing. Worth its weight in gold in your pack for sure. Getting towards the fun stuff now. This is something I carry from home, contractor bag or two. They're relatively cheap. You can throw them in your pack. Again, most of these items are light. They weigh next to nothing. They're very cheap to have. And this is good. You can lay out on the ground when you're gutting your elk to keep your meat from getting dirty before you can get it in game bags. If it gets really hot where you're at and you need to put your meat in a creek to cool it off, you can tie off some rocks in a game bag and throw that in there. Something to think about for sure. And again, those are pennies on the dollar, really cheap. This next one seems pretty obvious, but it has, again, multivariate uses, and that's both Kleenexes and wet wipes. Most people will chuckle, but I tell you, these things are a game changer when you're out in the mountains for obvious reasons, and for other not so obvious reasons. I use these at the end of the day to get the camouflage face paint off my face. They're good just to wipe down, get some of the funk off you too if you're not able to shower or bathe. And then Kleenexes, not just as toilet paper, but I know for me, when I go out west, my sinuses dry up, and not to be gross, but yeah, it's good to have Kleenexes around. I certainly love having the combination of wet wipes and Kleenexes, and again, very cheap to pick up on your way out there. Most people will say, hey, you know, trekking poles, I have those, but you can't get them under 20 bucks. Every pair of trekking poles I own is under 20 bucks. These are cheap aluminum poles. I got these at Walmart. They might be 25 now, but these things are a lifesaver, especially for going downhill, carrying heavy loads. I used to chuckle like, oh, I don't need trekking poles. Without a doubt, if I left these at home, I would buy a new pair when I got out west for sure. Okay, before I get to the number one item, the one thing I'll say, and this is the cheapest item on the list and probably the most important, and most people will chuckle at this because it is cliche, but the best thing you can take with you is absolutely free, and that is a good attitude. And while that seems obvious, I can tell you for certain, if you go out west or, you know, go anywhere on hunts, things are going to go wrong. You know, pieces of your bow are going to break. I've had a bow sight break 2 years in a row. You're going to have flat tires. That happened to me in Arizona last year. Things unexpectedly are going to go wrong, and that's a guarantee. So if you have a good attitude and already anticipate that things are going to go wrong, when these bumps in the road come, you can say, hey, you know what, no big deal, move on. It's part of the process versus saying, oh no, you know, I got a flat tire, my hunt's ruined, and pack up and go home. Okay, number one item. This may seem silly, but I really like this. This is a force multiplier, and this is Dead Downwind makes this, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't care about any of that stuff, but I will link it in the description in case you find it. It's a 3-in-1 stick, and it really is a 3-in-1 stick. In fact, to me, it's a 5-in-1 stick. It really all it is a big chapstick. So for me, I know when I go out west, just the arid environment, my lips after blowing bugle tubes are ready to fall off after a couple days. Having chapstick is a lifesaver. In addition, this can be sunscreen. You can rub it on the tips of your ears, on your cheeks. It doesn't have any smell to it, or really nothing discernible, I should say. In addition, it not doubles but triples as bowstring wax if you need bowstring wax. And then last but not least, the fourth use for this, and these are all very prominent uses, is a fire starter. I typically carry cotton balls in Vaseline in a little prescription vial is my go-to fire starter with a Bic lighter. But you know, this is wax. Candles are made of wax. This will burn very nicely and slowly if you can, you know, wrap it in some paper towels or a little bit of tissue paper if you need to. So it's a fire starter as well. Many people don't think about this, but this is something I will not leave home without it, because it has so many, you know, multivariate uses that make me comfortable on the hunt. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I talked quick. I wanted to go through the list pretty rapidly. If you think anything I left out, leave it in the comments. Let me know. Hey, give me some tips too. These little things I think go a long ways. Everyone gets very hyper focused on the big type of gear, you know, the packs, the pack frames, bows, guns, boots, those things, those high cost items. But for me, these low cost items can really make the difference in a hunt, whether it's saving my feet from a blister to, you know, if I've lost my release, or, you know, taping something together that needs to be, or, you know, just keeping me warm if I get stuck out there and get lost. And so anyway, hope you enjoyed. Again, leave anything in a comment that you might have thought I left out. I know everyone likes top 10 list and they want to say, this guy's missing that or that. So let me know what I missed out, and good luck this season. I'm really looking forward to it.